What's up, it's your boy Luke. A brand new episode of Family Talk starts now. What's up, it's your boy Luke P. Sanders, and welcome to Volume 4 in 2024 for Family Talk. And I cannot believe we are here in a brand new year. And yeah, it's going to be a great volume, a great ride, and a great year for Family Talk. So please keep it tuned and keep it locked. But today, I want to go ahead and jump into today's episode. You sure you know about the title, my NBA 24 All-Star Weekend Invitations. So as this episode is airing this week, All-Star Weekend is literally days away this weekend. And this episode is being taped in real time. A week or two ahead of All-Star Weekend because let's go ahead and just get into it, okay? Let's dive into it. I mean, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. It's always, for me, I won't say always. I try to look at the positive side of it. Like, it's good to, be offered certain things and, invited to certain stuff, but it doesn't make sense business-wise. It can kind of suck, but I'm like, I don't think everybody gets these type of experiences or invitations, and I wasn't expecting them. So I'm like, let me just, let me relish in that and be grateful for, being thought of and the invitations and things like that, and to be able to even share this type of story. As I'm taping this episode, we are, literally a week out from the start of the All-Star Weekend, which is here in my hometown, and in the home of Indianapolis, Naptown, part of the largest 15 cities in the country. It's here, so that's why, we promoted this volume, about, All-Star Weekend and, this podcast being taped in All-Star Weekend, the home of 2024 All-Star Weekend. But anyway, so like a week or so ago, I got an email saying, hey, we need somebody to work on this production, and kind of like a last minute thing, we need some extra help. Sent me the rate, sent me the hours, whole nine. Rate was good. But they sent it to me like 7 in the evening, so I responded within that hour or so. So I wasn't expecting to get a response back until the morning, which is what happened. So then I get a response back in the morning, and I was asking to, talk over the phone, so I can get some more details, because I wasn't just concerned about the rate or, this or that. Like, I wanted to just, be able to talk, and if I had any questions, I can ask him, and, and vice versa. If he had any questions, about me or what I've done, or, expectations from him and his company, or whatever the case may be. But he just sent information over, so I was like, okay, that's a little sketch. I asked for a whole call, and he just sending me over the information. I'm like, okay, I understand, when you're on time crunch, I'm not asking for an hour call, we can just hop on a call real quick, whether if it's, an hour or so after business hours, or, before, we can just talk real quick. So that was already sketch to me, him just sending that over, I asked for a phone call. And then plus, I have talked to this company before, but I have never worked with them before, because if we're just keeping it all the way real, like, they've reached out to me when, like, they need help. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I told them in exact words, but I remember either feeling like, or told them, like, I do other stuff, and that's what I said. I said, I'm actually working on my other projects right now that I'm executive producing, and that wasn't even me trying to name drop or title drop. I was just saying, because they just always want me to do a certain type of job, and they always want me to do it quickly. Like, if you want to work with me, or want me to work with you, don't always reach out to me in an emergency situation. You know what I mean? Because now you're just coming off like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that's that. And then two, it's always these type of positions, and I don't have a problem starting and paying my dues and stuff like that, but I don't feel like it always has to be in like a secretarial role or an assistant role. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about them specifically. With them always asking, and then I always have to say no, because I'm either working on a project or my schedule just doesn't permit, personally or professionally, because they asked me literally within like a week or days. You know what I mean? It's like a very short time frame. So I never can do it. I always have to tell them no. But this time, this is actually the longest they've given me in advance. It was like a couple weeks or so out. But yeah, I was asking about more information. He gave me so he owns his own production company, his own film production company, and the client is doing. See, I didn't get all the details for that, and that's what I was asking for. So that's why I was a little sketch too, as well, at least in my opinion. You know, he told me what they were shooting for in the production they were shooting for, which the production was really big. I would name drop, but I don't even want to get them involved in this because this don't even have nothing to do with them, the client, or what the client was, doing for that production company. So yeah, but yeah, it was a very big production company. Like it was like one of the major ones. Like it wasn't like a TV. It was like, how do I say this? It was like, because certain movie studios have like different branches, like Paramount, and this is not who it was. Paramount, they're a movie studio, but then they also have Paramount, the network on TV, and then Paramount Plus, the streaming service. So it was like something like that, to where it was a big like movie studio, but that has different like branches and levels. So it was a really big name. But yeah, so he told me that, but I'm like, okay, so what is it about? What are we doing? Like, I understand, there might be certain information that they don't want to share yet because of who it could be, the client could be. But even with that, like, all you have to do is send an NDA. We can sign that and get, get started so I can know what I'm getting myself into. But that didn't happen. I literally had to ask for a contract. He was like, well, yeah, here's the rate, and, let me know if you want to get started, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, yeah, the rate sounds good, but I wanted to hop on a call real quick for even, for more information. He just, was giving me the basic stuff. And I was like, he was like, well, I end up asking for a contract, I was like, it'd be good for us to have a contract because you can know what to expect from me and what you'll be getting. And then I can know that for sure what I can expect and that I'm getting paid, because I'm not trying to, work in good faith, But he was like, oh, well, he ended up saying, this has been my company since I've, had this. I'm sorry. It's funny to me saying it out loud because I'm just like, this is very, it is kind of, it's big-headed, it's big cocky, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it shouldn't matter how big you are in the industry or how you have your own this or your own that for however long. The contractual obligations, contracts, and the business should always be taken care of. Like, having a contract shouldn't be an option. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that should be a given. That shouldn't be where I have to ask for a contract. And he was like, well, yeah, since, I've gone into business for myself, I don't do contracts, and I've never had this issue before, and people don't ask me for contracts. They usually just invoice me. But I'm like, okay, even with an invoice, like, if you invoice somebody, like, okay, you doing work on your house. If they invoice you a certain amount, there's still usually paperwork involved. Or even if you're working with a wardrobe stylist and they invoice you, there's still something that is signed. You know what I mean? Why would I come to work and, yeah, we talked before, but I don't remember us ever talking on the phone. Definitely don't remember us talking in person. And even, like, it don't even matter. Like, if I'm doing, like, an actual gig like this, what they were asking for, whether it was family or friends or somebody I knew, 9 times out of 10, if not more, I'm definitely going to ask and want and get a contract. Like, that's, yeah. So whenever people start acting funny around the word contract, that's when I'm like, okay, thank you, but no thank you. I respectfully decline. So he was like, well, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't do contracts. And I'm like, who doesn't do contracts when you get paid? But okay. Because there's nothing saying that I'm going to get paid and what I'm expected to do exactly. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing saying that I'm legitimately going to get paid. So, yeah. I mean, if that's what they do, and that's the nature of the game, and they cool with that, and they cool with invoicing, and that's worked out for them, kudos to them. Like, it's not even about me, like, like, yeah, I believe that some people do that, and they invoice these companies and they actually get paid. I'm just not willing to take a gamble on that and risk not getting paid. Like, and I'm not even asking to be paid up front. Like, that would be nice, but just as long as there's a contract saying that I am going to be paid, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was unfortunate because it was definitely a nice opportunity, but I learned very young and very early on that you gotta be willing to walk away, whether it's professional reasons or personal reasons. Like, whether if it's like a, romantic relationship or something that's in that area, or like a platonic relationship with a family member or a friend. If they feel like they can, do and say whatever, and you're just gonna be there, and you're not gonna walk away, they're just gonna continue to do or do and say whatever. But until you actually walk away, and you tell them that you're serious about walking away, and you're ready to do it, and you do it, and depending on the person, usually then that's when they take you seriously, or they get it. But even if they get it, sometimes they don't come back and say, oh yeah, well no, I'm sorry, and I understand, and now we can, come to a compromise. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I didn't, it's annoying because this is not the first time that a contract has been an issue, but I don't feel like I took it personal as far as, because this is what he said he does. So, I mean, if that's what he says he does, I don't have a way to prove that, but I just take that at face value. So I don't feel like I'm the only person who, said that he doesn't do contracts with, you know what I mean? And some people, I guess because of the name of the people he worked with or the companies or whatever, they cool with that, but it'll be different. And like, it will be different because I'm pretty open when it comes to production stuff. Like, it's not even about coins all the time. I definitely think I deserve to be paid, but and especially if I'm agreeing to be paid, because some stuff you do for the experience, and some stuff you do, because it's a career move and not a money move necessarily. It's not always a money move or a career and a money move. So that's cool. But the nature of the job was like a lot of labor, and it said labor only. So I'm like, yeah, that's different. Especially you saying I'm going to get paid, I'm definitely expecting to be paid, and I want that in writing, But if I was doing something else and I knew coming on and coming into it that it wasn't going to be paid, okay. But, I've done stuff like that. It's not just about, so at least for me, it's not always about the coins. But if you're going to say you're going to give me, a check, give me a check. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with putting that in writing. But yeah, I mean, even recently, talking to the thing is, like, I didn't give up on like production stuff and like TV and film. Like, I have those dreams still, but I feel like I was kind of chasing after it, and chasing is not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like I was getting to the point to where I didn't want to force stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't want stuff to happen, and it wasn't, in God's will. You know what I mean? I really didn't want that because I show everybody else, and include myself, we've been there to where we've done stuff and we've rushed stuff that it wasn't in God's timing and it wasn't His will yet or at all. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So definitely took a step back and, continue to work on stuff internally and continue to be in pre-production for stuff and get ideas here and there. And yeah, if something comes across my email or, something comes up where I get an idea to reach out to somebody or just to work on something, I will. But yeah, he reached out to me. I didn't reach out to him. I didn't even know about this, what was going on. But yeah, it was downtown in Indianapolis, during All-Star Weekend. It was a sports thing. So yeah, sucks that, I won't be a part of that, but I'm not willing to be a part of something that's not right business-wise. And this is because in the email it said labor only. Not willing to do a labor-only job and not get that in writing, so. But yeah, moving along, and this has to do with like entertainment contracts too. And I'll address this quickly because I know that this episode was mainly about the contract with the NBA All-Star Weekend. But yeah, so this is all in the same time frame. So this is also a week ago or so as well. a company had reached out to me before. We talked about working in the past, but it just didn't work out business wise. But it wasn't a bad situation. It just didn't make sense at that time. So they reached out and was like, hey, where are you at? Basically, in a nice way, of course. I'm paraphrasing. Just wanted to check in and see where you at with your projects. Do you have any more projects that you're working on? Maybe we can come and be a part of those. And whole nine. And I was like, oh, okay, And this is email, of course, so we're not talking on the phone at this point. But, yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah. So I responded, and I was like, yeah, I'm still working on projects, but, we both, for this to make sense for us both, for us to both get a nice rate or a nice check, we should do this, that. And I gave my suggestions. They was like, okay, cool, and they said, are you okay with scheduling a call? So I scheduled a call within a few days. We hopped on the call. Call was good. And then after the call, like a day or so later, they follow up, and I was like, okay, yeah, because they was telling me about this program that I won't get into, because at this point, then they know exactly that I am sharing about them, And it's not a secret, but, you know what I mean? So just not trying to be messy. But I do want to tell my story, my side of the story, and hopefully, even if you're entertained by it, or you can relate to it, or inspired by it, I don't know, and hope maybe I can look back, prayerfully I can look back and see, where I was and where I am in the future, But anyway, so I like to say that, yeah, basically was saying, yeah, I asked for more information. I was like, yeah, well, I can send you more information over, after we get off the call or whatever, or follow up with you, soon. And they reached out to me. They was like, okay. And they on the call too, they said, we can sign an NDA too about the project so that we can work on them. You know what I mean? So we can, I think I asked for that actually, but they said, yeah, that they, more than happy to sign an NDA. And it was like, okay, yeah, we're just waiting for you to send the NDA over. I was like, you got a company, so usually the company will send the NDA over, but okay. I was like, fine, I'm cool. It don't even, I don't get an NDA, fine. I'll send it to you. It ain't even that big of a deal. Definitely raising the eyebrow, at least in my opinion. And then I was like, okay, I'll do that, but I would like more information, on the program that they were talking about before I even, go and get the NDA and even, put time into doing that. If the program is not a fit, or at least at this time, then we would know. But I literally had asked them that 3 times, and they kept talking about, we need the NDA, we want the NDA. And I'm like, okay, why are they going this hard about the NDA? And they haven't even talked to me about the program first. Because I don't think people realize, an NDA, yes, NDA it stands for non-disclosure agreement. An NDA does not guarantee that people are not going to talk about what you guys have signed to not talk about. It just protects you if they do. So you can, press charges legally, and possibly get money. They can possibly do some time, in jail or whatever. They can get charges. So it don't stop them from saying whatever it is or doing, or, taking projects or whatever. So I don't think people remember that or acknowledge that. But yeah, they can easily switch a name of something that I was talking about with them in the NDA, or tweak this little detail or tweak that, you know what I mean? And yeah, so I'm like, okay, they so hell-bent on the NDA. Why are they so, I've never experienced that. So I'm like, why are they so hell-bent on the NDA? But they won't give me more information about the program. So I was like, well, if you guys, can give me more information about the program, or even acknowledge that I'm asking for it, then, I guess we're not going to come to that compromise. So they didn't respond. So I was like, yeah. I know it, and if it comes off that way, it comes off that way, but that's not my intention. I'm not coming off like my intention is not to come off as if I'm better than somebody, or I need this, or my standards are so high. I just feel like there's nothing wrong with getting an understanding, contractually, in general. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with having basic needs. I'm not asking for the, Taj Mahal. I'm just asking for more information or a contract, or you know what I mean, contract with the NBA All-Star Weekend gig, and then more information about this company that reached out to me. So I'm like, these are not big things I'm asking for, So I'm just like, you can't even do that. If I ask for other stuff, how are we gonna move forward? So it's always important. First impressions are important. Definitely, be open to giving people grace, but yeah, if they being sketched from the beginning, definitely raise an eyebrow. And if you don't feel comfortable and it's not making sense, it's going downhill, be willing to walk away if you need to. So that's what I did with these. So yeah, I have a lot of contract stories and even entertainment stories, and I'm not even heavily immersed in entertainment. And entertainment that I have done has been in the Midwest. So yeah, this is how they're getting down now and so far. So I can imagine, how some of the big wigs and some of the higher ups can be or could be. But yeah, please stay tuned because more episodes are coming. Our co-host Brenda is back on Friday, definitely giving some suspense and making a big return this year. Her making a big return to Family Talk this year in 2024. So yes, she is coming. She is here for Family Talk Volume 4, but you gotta wait. So yeah, so you won't just be hearing me on this volume in this year. So just remember that, so she's back, but yeah, so make sure you keep tuning people out to Family Talk. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. I feel good because I've talked to a couple people about this, in confidence, of course, but not, sharing any names or too much information, so. But yeah, it felt even good again to talk about it with you on Family Talk. So yeah, make sure you keep it tuned, keep it locked, and yeah, watch the NBA All-Star Weekend, and I hope it goes well. As of now, I'm not going, even though I got invitations to work, during that time, and downtown where it's going to be happening. But yeah, so make sure you keep it tuned and locked. Make sure you keep it tuned and locked to Family Talk, and yeah, be back for another episode. She's back. Catch our co-host Brenda back this year on Family Talk for Volume 4, starting this Friday for Part 1 of our 2-part special, 10 Years of Pain.
I think the hardest part for me was not having my child, not able to talk to my child. That was devastating.
There are some things that could have been handled better and differently. I won't speak on because then other people get involved.
I don't know if there's anything that we missed. Can you think of anything?
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot that we missed. Well, we don't want to get sued for defamation.
I still was able to go to work and take care of my family in my house. So, and then I had to repair doors and stuff, and they kicked in my windows, and all that had to be replaced. Hey, it's Brenda Sanders.
What's up? It's your boy Luke P. Sanders. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Family Talk. Be sure to follow us at Family Talk Limited Podcast on Facebook.